Drawdowns can be scary, especially when you're not in understanding with what is actually going on. And in this video, I want to show the power of community, and then I want to show the facade of exiting drawdowns prematurely. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Matt Jimenez. I'm an entrepreneur who has worked with the greatest minds in finance over the last several years. I'm here to pour into you guys everything that's important to me. And this video is specifically gauged for those who are involved with algorithmic trading and or looking to get involved with algorithmic trading. But before we get into all the context of this video, first you need some content around drawdowns. If you don't understand what drawdown is, it is basically an unrealized loss. Drawdown is only affected and reflected into your account when the drawdown is closed out. For instance, if you have open trades that are running in the negative, those are unrealized. They've never actually reflected into your account balance until you manually exit those trades, or if they hit your stop loss. The moment a stop loss is hit or you manually exit, then the drawdown is realized and it becomes tangible. Now, with the software that I've been utilizing to trade for me from Nurp, drawdowns have usually ended up in a good scenario for my own account, and this is what I mean. Now that you understand a bit of what a drawdown is, let me show you what it could look like. Here is my FX book with the algorithm that I'm using that has $50,000 in there, and all these dips in this yellow line is the equity growth. So as you can see, there's a little bit of pullbacks here and there from this red line, and the red line is the actual growth of the account. As you can see, these dips in the equity do not reflect in the growth of the account because they're not closed out at negative. Now, if this drawdown right here was to close out exactly where I have my marker, then yes, you would see a taper off in this red line up above, which would reflect the drawdown. As you could see recently, which is the reason why I'm making this video, there was the biggest drawdown that I have ever experienced in the account thus far, which has been active since October 19th of 2023. And this drawdown was 11.5%, so almost 12%. As you can see down below where it says equity growth, it says 23.8%, and that's because the account is up 35%, almost 36%, but from where the account balance was reflected in the drawdown, it was only up 23%. That's the 11% difference in the actual account balance and the equity growth. Now, with that being said and visually represented, let's go to the Nurp's community where we can actually see other people during this time and see how their wins and or losses have been, if we find any losses. So here we are. This is 2 days ago from Gene, up 2% on a Thursday. Thanks, Nurp. And over here is the same chart that we were looking at on my own account. This person has $310,000 deposited in their account. Let's scroll down, and here again we have Charlton, biggest single day so far. So in a single day he did 2.81%. Let's keep going deeper and deeper. So this person here, Sam, is actually someone who I just did an interview with, and if you haven't checked it out, hit the link above. You'll see his actual performance. Here he's just giving some insights on the algo and what he's doing. This is the beauty of having a community. This is from Frank B. My Fed year to date. So far, he started this account, it looks like, in February of 2024. And of course, he has not had a single losing month. He did 3%, 4.5%, 11%, 4%, 5.5%, and almost 8%, sitting at 7.97. The best part of waking up. This is by FC Will, and this is his screenshot of his phone's MT5 or 4 terminal, and he's just waking up in straight profits closed. Over here you can see his growth, and this is the exact example that I'm trying to show you guys on my account. Let's look at my account again really quick. My account has this exact same dip. If I pull this up here, pretty much around the same time he had a big taper off in his equity growth as well. But look at his actual account. As it's tracking the growth, it never reflected this loss because none of these trades that weighed the account down, hypothetically, didn't close out. Them not being closed out never reflected in losing dollars. As you can see, this red line, for layman terms, represents the dollars in the account and their actual balance. As you can see, while this looks down, the dollars in the account never went down. They stayed quite steady and in fact had a massive surge near the end. Typically when you see these, it's like a slingshot because all of these positions that are taken down here have so much more upside, and with more upside and positions being sized in, you typically will see a larger return. And again, past performance will indicate future performance, but this is just what I've seen from the software so far. Look at this. So he's done 16% so far, and this was his biggest drawdown, 17%. He's doing 5.8% monthly, and his balance is $116,000. Biggest day so far, 6 months in. DD management was key. So this is representative of drawdown. And again, this is the beauty of having a community. He's going out of his way and leaving information on what he's doing during drawdowns to help manage the risk, or I guess keep himself level-headed. And he has 2 accounts. This is a Fed bot that he has that has $82,000 in there, and then he has, I believe that's a Yellen, I'm not 100% sure, and it looks like there's $63,000 in there. And yes, it is a Yellen. So a Yellen is another software that they have, and I've made reviews on it. If you haven't watched it, hit that link up above and it'll take you to some of the reviews that I've done on it. Here is SGT Peppers. GBP USD closed big. So he's saying he's running about 3 times over the recommended settings. And again, that is the beauty of having the software in your own hands. You could do with that if you want, or you can go lower than the recommended settings. The beauty is you have control over it. We don't. You do whatever you'd like. So let's scroll down and see what he has done so far. So this month, or better yet, let's look at this year. He's done 45% this year so far since March. So it hasn't even been nowhere near a full year yet. He's already done 45%. For the month, he's done almost 6%. In the week alone that he posted this, he did almost 3%. I don't know where else you can get these type of performance gains with the support of a team like this and a community that also aids in support. And here is the CEO actually active with the people in the chat. So the CEO is also very communicative with the clients and making sure that he is periodically popping in and seeing how everyone is doing, because he always says, when my clients win, I want to win. He believes in a win-win situation. And he said it many times in interviews. If you haven't watched any of the interviews, let's pop a few up. Click one, you might get lucky and you might like it. Here's another one, GBP USD closed. What a nice day to eat from the bots. And again, this person did $7,300 on the trade he's talking about, GBP USD. And above, this looks like it's GBP USD. I could tell by the exchange rates, it's quite similar. And that was a $4,300 gain on this trade that he's speaking about, GBP USD. And I'm going to get back to the point of GBP USD in just a moment. Let's just check out his performance. So in one day, he did 2.15%, which is $3,800 in profit. This week, he did 2.19%. And for the month, he did 4.5%, which is $7,900. The reason I'm bringing any of this up is because I want to address this here. This was due to some news that came out revolved around the US dollar. And in fact, this was a very crazy moment in time in general, considering all the election stuff that's going on and potential rate hikes, and considering the talks of rate cuts. This will have massive implications on how a currency will respond. And this reflected in some of the trades. As you could see, it reflected in a drawdown in the GBP USD across many users, including myself. But if you didn't close out, and if you just let the software do what it was designed to do, you actually reap the rewards of a far greater return for that month. That is the beauty of algorithmic trading software, is it's eliminating the emotion of you trying to manually manage a trade or drawdown and just trusting the software that it'll do what it was designed to do. Now, as you could see, those who managed the drawdowns, or actually not managed it, but let the software manage it for them, saw the reward on the other side. A lot of accounts did get hit with a bit of a drawdown, and that is the reality of trading, and that is the reality of investing in general as a whole. There is no such thing as something that just goes up forever. There is always peaks and troughs, but if you could sit through it all and you are not taking on more risk than is recommended, you may make it out on top and better than you were before. And the reason I showed the community is to show you that during those times where there is drawdowns, at least you have a group of people with the same interest as you, and a group of people showing their exact performance and what they're doing during that period of time. Because again, all of this is great in hindsight. You don't know what's going to happen, right? So when you're experiencing a drawdown, some people do get emotional. And imagine if they were trying to manually trade, they would be far more emotional. If you're letting a software do it and you're still a little bit emotional, that means if you're doing it manually, you'd probably lose your mind and close out and end up blowing up your account every time you tried to be a trader. Now, with that being said, I hope that this brought you value and you understand drawdowns a bit more and how people actually respond to the drawdowns. More importantly, how the software responds to the drawdowns. And if you're interested in what this software is, hit the link down in the description below. And if you want to speak directly to the team, go to the pinned comment, go ahead and click that and book your call with us today. And like always, my friends, peace.